Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining me. If this is your first time being here, I'm Dr. Twanna, and I am a career transition coach, and I coach professional women who just overcome that anxiety and that doubt that can sometimes come along with shifting into a new job, transitioning into a new job, such as getting a promotion or stepping out on your own into your own entrepreneurship, running your own business. And I do that by helping them to recognize and communicate their unique skills, as well as by instilling a deep sense of belief in their own strengths and abilities so they can confidently and courageously create success on their own terms and pursue a path of purpose that is meaningful to them. So if you can hear me, drop yes in the comments for me so I can be sure. I do want to say for those of you seeing this on LinkedIn, welcome, welcome, welcome. Appreciate you being here as well. For those of you who are joining me from Facebook, you too are welcome tonight or this evening. And those of you seeing this on Twitter, right? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for being in the house tonight. We have a great topic. I had lots of interactions and comments from the last time I talked about sabotaging coworkers. It seems to be a source of stress for people, as well as all the other stuff going on in the workplace. So, tonight we are talking about 7 tips for dealing with stress from sabotaging coworkers. And let's see, I'm going to check my comments over here. So let me pop around a little bit to be sure that the live stream is going and everybody can hear me. And if you can hear me okay, definitely put 2 yeses in the chat. I have some folks working on my house tonight, so I'm doing this with my AirPods. So I don't normally do that. And so I just want to be sure that everybody can hear me tonight. Okay. All right. So without further ado, I want to get started. I want to check these live streams real quick. And I am not bringing up Facebook here. I just want to check to be sure everything is where it is. I think 2 weeks ago, I had internet problems, so hopefully there are no internet issues tonight. If there is, I will always pop back on and finish the live, so we should be okay. Huh, I guess this platform is pulling a lot of data tonight. There we go. So I know for sure I'm live on LinkedIn because I can see you on LinkedIn. Good. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Not sure where Facebook is, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. You can always catch this on the replay if you need to. You can always go to my YouTube channel and find this, or scroll through my LinkedIn page and find this live. I don't want to waste too much time. I want to be sure that you get what you came here for. 7 tips for dealing with the stress from sabotaging coworkers, right? And so, really, it's like if you got the sabotaging coworkers, how do you really deal with them, right? And so, it really is about managing your own emotions. It's not so much about managing the other person, but rather it is about managing your own emotions and trying not to take that situation personally. I know it's tough, but really managing your emotions and not taking it personally are two of the biggest tools that you have in your tool belt, right? And to also understand, typically when you see folks in a workplace that are self-sab or that are sabotaging you, it's because they're insecurities and it's because of their frustrations or their professional jealousies. I know where I speak, I've been there a time or two, maybe 4 or 5 or 6. And so really we're going to talk about tonight dealing with giving you some tips. First of all, recognizing, when a coworker is toxic or sabotaging you, and then, give you some tips of how to deal with it. You know, and so I already gave you that biggest hint. You cannot stop your coworker from sabotaging you, but you can control how you react. That's where your power lies, right? Some people just love the drama. The thing to do is if you have a coworker that is sabotaging you, is to work smart, right? And notice I didn't say just work hard because you're already working hard, right? And that's why they're probably taking credit or taking your stuff because you're working hard. But it's also about working smart and to avoid overreacting to their actions. Okay. So a couple of things that you can do is, definitely do not let them get inside of your head. It might be tempting to get angry and go toe to toe and get frustrated and respond in kind. But yeah, that's not the best way to handle it. It only ticks up the stress levels in your body and in your head, right? So that's a no-go. Definitely don't engage them on social media with the passive aggressive comments and those kinds of things. Or, if you have intranet at your job, yeah, don't engage them there. Or, put negative things out to folks. That doesn't work either. Sometimes that can backfire on you where people think you're the troublemaker than the person who sabotaged you, right? Certainly you don't want to engage with them at their level. The less petty action between the two of you, the better. And so let's talk about how do you identify the sabotaging coworker? What are some of the things to look for? And so one type of social, sabotaging coworker that is you got to really get in there and look at it is a silent assassin, right? And so this person is kind of they don't really want to be noticed. They want to kind of be a low key. They're not out trying to like everybody see me. And they sometimes will attack you by indirectly spreading little innuendos, little rumors, little half truths, or intentionally undermining you with people and creating infighting among the team, right? And these people definitely are not team players. They may come off to folks as team players, but they're not really. Okay. And it's dangerous they sabotage you, but they tend to just sow discord on a team. All right. And really causes stress not only for you, but for the team involved because you start to distrust people. You don't know, who to trust, who not to trust. And, they don't play nice. And one thing they love to do is they love to bring the drama. Right. And so when someone is being passive aggressive to you, and typically they are, and that's what this behavior is, they don't outright come and say things to you, but they really do sow these things undermine you kind of behind your back, right? And so when someone is being passive aggressive towards you, it is important to be aware of it, right? And you'll want to address it appropriately, again, so that people don't think that you're the rude or reasonable person, right? So I know a lot of folks are like, I just cuss them out. There are some jobs where that's okay, and then there are some jobs where that's professional. So you want to handle it appropriately, go through the appropriate channels because again, these people love drama. So the more drama they give, and they're like all quiet and they're all professional and looking at you like, I don't know what her problem is. I don't know what his problem is. I really don't know. And they try to undermine you to make people think you're the problem versus them. Okay. Another type of sabotaging coworkers, this is a coworker who's actively trying to bring you down, right? So this one is a coworker who's making your life harder, and they do this outwardly, right? And so they're either trying to get you fired or undermine your reputation, or undermine you in front of your direct reports or in front of the C-suite, or, if you're in a government agency, in front of your agency organization, in front of leadership, management, those kinds of things, right? And they'll even try to sabotage your relationships with your coworkers, right? And so, really, if a coworker is doing this to you, it really is important to take action right away because this will likely escalate if the behavior is left unchecked. This is where I really messed up early on in my career. I just thought if I, played along, didn't, rock the boat, didn't see anything, that behavior would get better, and it got worse. And there have been jobs that it got so bad that I actually had to go find another job because by the time I stood up, it was really too late. I had waited way too late to take action. So consider some of these things. If the person is reasonable, talk one on one with them. You don't want to have it out so that everybody sees. Again, some people love that drama anyway. So you don't want to really have it out, if at all possible. And this really could help resolve things because hurt people hurt other people, angry people hurt other people. And so it's generally best not to do this in a big group. If you're in a cubicle, right, you want to take it to a rather private place. And so the goal is really to create an atmosphere where the two of you can both air out your grievances without fear of retribution from anybody or from your boss, and try to come to an understanding. Then, if that doesn't work, because we all know oftentimes there's places where this doesn't work, right? It doesn't. So that's when you want to take the appropriate actions. You want to consult with your supervisor. If the person is your supervisor who's doing this, you definitely want to consult HR or another trusted person, another trusted manager, supervisor for guidance on how to best handle it in your situation, because each workplace is a little different, right? And the fallout from office politics sometimes is normal office protocol. And really, not every company actually has a procedure written out for how to handle sabotaging coworkers, believe it or not. Or they don't have necessarily have procedures laid out when there's bullying going on between coworkers. So you definitely want to consult your HR and figure out the best way to do it, right? Then we talked about their coworkers, the next kind of coworker that do things just to push your button, just to make you angry. And then they go, "Oh my gosh, I don't know why this person's so angry with me." And they play that role. Okay, they're constantly, it's either by innuendos, sitting things on your desk, taking things off your desk, sending you stupid emails to try purposely to make you angry. They may steal your ideas, take credit for the work you do, or again, undermine your efforts in front of the people that matter so they look good and you don't. And again, another form of passive aggressive behavior, and it can be difficult to deal with because sometimes it's subtle. You're the only person that's seeing it. And this is why you do want to document, because sometimes these undermining behaviors make you question whether or not you see what you see. And then the doubt starts to happen, and then your self-esteem drops because you're like, I guess I'm the only person. No one else sees it. So really the best approach to this type of person is to acknowledge that they are being manipulative. You probably don't want to call them manipulative, but definitely acknowledge that you know what's going on. And certainly try not to let their actions get under your skin by taking it personally. It is professional, but try not to take it personally, because when you're angry, the other person then controls you, right? Whom the gods wish to destroy, they first make angry. So when someone makes you angry, you've lost control and they, in fact, are controlling you. Right. And so really focus on what you have control of, and that's you. You have control over yourself. Don't let them get inside your head again, or otherwise they win. If they can get inside your head, make you doubt yourself, make you make mistakes in your work and question everything you do, then they win. Right. And so another type of person in the office, and sometimes this can be your supervisor, is that the people are on purpose. They're just making your life difficult on purpose. That's a big thing, right? Most of the time, folks in the workplace are going to try to do their best to get along. That's why it can be so frustrating when a coworker just doesn't care and is seriously sitting there just dragging their feet on projects. If you have step 9 and 10 and they got 1 through 8, they drag their feet to the last minute and then drop the whole project in your lap. They just make your life difficult on purpose. And again, sometimes it is your supervisor, right? And it's tough when it is a supervisor, right? But again, there are people out there, they want to see you fail because they become jealous or bitter about something. It's not always about you, it's about something else that happened in the past, or because they just have some issues going on in the home that they lack control over. And so they try to gain control over people in the office by just making your life difficult. Right. And it may seem like, you do the first thing I did, which is totally messed up, is really to just ignore these toxic personalities. But it's not the best thing. You do want to appropriately confront, whether that's the person to person, if it's someone who loves to argue with you and you're not argumentative, then a confrontation person in between the two of you alone probably won't work. You'll need to get someone else involved with that, right? Team member, your supervisor, or HR. I tell folks, if you're not the argumentative person, and I was not, I don't like to argue with people. Don't enter onto the playing field where people argue because you're going to lose every time and they'll run rings around you and make you feel stupid. You're not stupid. It's just that you're not an argumentative person. So therefore you need to, enlist people to help you or put things in writing and address it. Right. And then there's a person we've already mentioned this person that they take credit for your work again. This is tough when it is also your supervisor who's taking credit for your work and presented it in the big meeting that you don't go to, and all of a sudden it trickles down what this great wonderful thing is, and before you can say, "Oh, thanks for I let you like my idea," they say your boss came up with that idea. That's tough. It's tough when a coworker does it. It is tough when your boss does it. It is just difficult to deal with, right? Sometimes you feel like you're being manipulated, that they're taking credit, especially if they do something they get raises for and it was your idea. It is very important, extremely important to document, document, document. I can't say it enough. Document your work so that you have evidence of what is yours and you can present that to say that this person took my ideas. Obviously, it depends on where you work. Sometimes it is like status quo. That's just what all the supervisors do. And it's a given. Like, yeah, we don't take credit for that. Just be happy you got a job. And so you still need to document, right? Where you go with it may differ depending on where you are. And in some cases, it may be that if it's happened so much, it might be the fact that you need to look for another job. Again, this is really when, especially when your boss is stealing your work, this is a tough one to deal with. It really is, right? And so it is helpful though to find a supportive coworker that you can trust and talk about it. Talk about it. Sometimes it's nice to get support and have people validate that they see what you see and you all know what's happening. Okay. And so again, sometimes the only recourse you have that keeps happening, you can't go to HR, your boss is doing it, then it is just take your time and start looking for other jobs, right? Because you can either stay there and have your idea stolen, not get promoted, not get paid for it, or you can go somewhere else. Okay. So at the end of the day, yes, dealing with a sabotaging coworker really introduces a lot of stress on you, a lot of stress and strain. And the goal is to manage the stress and not take it home to your family, right? And manage it so that you are always working on your self esteem. And this is what helps you feel better about the situation. So definitely work on your self esteem because, again, some of these, when coworkers do it to you, we always start doubting ourselves. We doubt ourselves first, right? So definitely work on your self-esteem, your confidence, you know, so that they are where they're supposed to be. So that's number one. Number two, focus on the positives. Look at the positive things around you. You have a job, you're doing well enough that someone's stealing your ideas. But again, there are other actions you can take. Number three, be confident in your abilities. Don't allow folks to introduce doubt so you stop trusting your own self. "Oh, I came up with that idea. That wasn't yours. Don't you remember?" Be confident, in your own abilities. So number four, don't let people get into your head and make sure that you remain calm and you remain professional. Whom the gods wish to destroy, they first make angry. Once they got you angry, they got you. So definitely don't let them get to you and don't let them see you sweat. Even if you're angry about it, don't let them see you sweat. Some people just enjoy that. That's the drama they like to bring. They enjoy it. This one I said before, number six, document, 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 document. I can't say it enough. Document so that when you need to address the situation with your supervisor or HR or manager or director, you have documentation. Also, documentation serves as the point that once it's written down and it is solid, you see it is there in black and white. When it happens again, you can come out of that doubt. Do I really see what I see? Is this for real? For real? You know what it is because you've written it down and there's a pattern, right? And so, this is the action one down here. Um, be willing to vote for your own mental health by finding another position if it comes down to it. If you can't resolve it, be willing to vote by walking away and getting another job, right? And I'm not saying like quit today or quit tomorrow and get another. You can start looking for that job, setting yourself up, documenting, getting your references, making sure your resume is where it is. Start the networking piece of it and just vote with your feet to leave, right? I am not a fan of people stealing my work. I am not, right? It took me a long time to say that out loud. I am not a fan of people stealing my work, but I learned that sometimes you can't resolve it, walk away. And especially if you've done what I've done. You've waited way too late to say something and you haven't been documenting. Sometimes vote and leave and find something else. And then once you get to the new place, document to be sure it doesn't happen, and when you see these behaviors from sabotaging coworkers, speak up and address it rather than letting it linger for so long. And I did that on several jobs coming out of the gate. I have social anxiety. I'm an introvert and I didn't like confronting people. I didn't like conflict. And I learned the hard way. You'd have to open your mouth to say something or people would just like bulldoze right over you, right? So, yes, dealing with a sabotaging coworker can really be stressful and frustrating, but there are ways that you can manage the situation, right? Working on your own self esteem and learning how to communicate in a positive way, right, will help you get clear about the situation. Okay. Because it's not always in your head. And sometimes they will try to intimate that it's in your head, and it's not. By documenting, you know it's not in your head because you have it written down, date, times, and places if you need it, right? And then also, you want to be sure that you take those actions so that you can take appropriate actions if you need to resolve your stress and improve your mental health, right? And so I am all about mental health fitness. You've seen that. And if you are one of these people, right, you're done with stress and you're just tired of it all. And really you know that right now you're not in a space where you can leave, then come see me. Let's talk about mental health fitness. I have a program that I'm dropping little hints and things here. It is a 5-week program. You will be amazed at how much you can do emotional management. That is what it's about, so that you are right. You are in the right frame of mind, doing the right things that you need to do for yourself, right? So I'm going to pop the link up there. You can go ahead and set up a calendar meeting with me, but the group will be starting. It is a group. It's a wonderful program for mental health fitness, and I get really great reviews with this program. And again, managing your own emotional health first, right? And then it also teaches you about the self-sabotaging and also to look at and see when people recognize the behavior. So great program. If you're kind of stressed out at this point, you're like, yeah, I heard you. Thank you for the tips, but I need something more. I'm at the point where I need help right now. I've let it go on too long. I've let it linger on too long, but I can't leave right now. Come see me and let's get you managing yourself first, and so that you can do the things to take care of you and then see the picture clearer in a much better way, and then look at those next steps that you need to go. So I will leave that up there. I do appreciate you for staying to the end. So you do want to see me for next week, right? Next week I'm going to be talking about perfectionism and why it is a career killer. The reasons perfectionism is a career killer. So I will be right back here next Wednesday, as they say, same bad time, same bad place, talking about perfectionism. Ooh, I was in that boat for quite a while, but let's talk about why it is a dream killer and not a dream builder. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next week. Bye.